What's up, everybody? It's Gregory146 here yet again with another video, and today it's going to be my Royal Rumble 2006 review. I'm going to try to make this short, simple, and sweet as possibly, or as short as I can, basically, because this Royal Rumble isn't worth my time. And throughout my Royal Rumble review series from 2015 until now, I haven't really had one really bad Royal Rumble besides Royal Rumble 2015 to have a gripe about. To be honest with you, I haven't really had the chance to do so, but this one deserves a gripe. But I'm going to try to not make this 15 minutes, or hopefully not even 10 plus minutes, but let's go ahead and get into it. I'll be doing my Royal Rumble 2005 review right after this, and it'll be uploaded, one after another today, and tomorrow will be 2004 and 2003. 2002 and 2000 will be on Thursday. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. The opener of the show was the Cruiserweight Championship Open. Lots of different guys in there. We had Paul London, Nunzio, Kid Kash, who was a Cruiserweight champion, Jamie Noble, Funaki, and Gregory Helms. So it was a fun match. It's a fun opener, and it's a good Cruiserweight Championship Open. Lots of different high spots here and there, and roll-ups and false finishes. In the end, Gregory Helms won, or the Hurricane, whatever one you prefer to call him. WWE wanted to make this really shocking, and, oh my god, Gregory Helms is on Raw, and now he's on SmackDown, he's a Cruiserweight champion, but it never panned out that way. The crowd really didn't react to it that much. But, yeah, Gregory Helms won. Nothing really special, like, you gotta go out of the way to see it. But it's a solid, fun opener for, anything that's a Cruiserweight Championship Open or anything Cruiserweight related is gonna be a fun opener. Most of the time. Then we got Ashely versus Mickie James in just a regular Divas match, and Trish Stratus was the referee. Mickie James won. Nothing that I have really anything to say. I just thought the Mickie James and Trish Stratus storyline was very well done because it went on for several months. They carried the storyline from at least November to December-ish, and they went all the way to April in WrestleMania 22, which was amazing. I don't know how they did it, but they did it really well. And they actually kept it going where they were both friends, and Mickie James, wanted Trish Stratus to be more than a friend, and, Mickie James was a lesbian, and Trish Stratus didn't want anything to do with it, and then it led up to a match at WrestleMania 22, which was really good for the women's title. Mickie James won here, and then Trish Stratus was like, and they kind of teased, like, those two going at it, which was good, I guess, for storyline development, but as a match itself, not that good. JBL versus the Boogeyman. Boogeyman won with a pump handle slam. So yeah, and it's anything you would expect from a match featuring JBL and the Boogeyman. Anyway, next was the Royal Rumble match. Man, the Royal Rumble match was fourth. It was the fourth match on a 6-match card. That's crazy. And that should not it should never be like that. If anything, I would have done the world title match before the Royal Rumble, which would be the main event, and the WWE Championship right here. That's what I would have done personally. But, I mean, I guess for some reason they needed to have this match on as the fourth. And it was just really weird because, like, Rey Mysterio won, and it's like, okay, I'm ready for the pyro and good night, and it really didn't happen that way. I mean, we just then went to a backstage segment with Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Chavo Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio, just chilling, hanging out, and then Edge came out, and then it was just kind of like random. And then we just had the WWE Championship match, and then we had the World Championship match. It was just a weird card structure of how it all just came out to be, and it just wasn't good. Triple H, Rey Mysterio starting off was great. Really good first two decision. There's a lot of different things that was booked in this match. You had Rey Mysterio's underdog storyline. You had Triple H being Triple H, and he has so many enemies in this match. You had the Shawn Michaels bounty. Whoever can take Shawn Michaels is going to be the golden boy for Vince McMahon. So you had like guys like Eminem trying to take him out, Shelton Benjamin, etc. So Shawn Michaels and the Vince McMahon tie-in was heavily featured in this match as well. Tatanka made a surprise appearance, which is something that's noteworthy. Then, Bobby Lashley had an okay run from what I remember. It was an okay Royal Rumble match. It wasn't amazing, outstanding, but it was a pretty decent Royal Rumble match. And Rey Mysterio's performance was amazing, just outstanding. Randy Orton being in there at number 30 was good. Just such a good match from a storytelling perspective, more than just it being an amazing Royal Rumble itself, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? But when a Royal Rumble match has both storytelling and match quality elements, then that's a really good Royal Rumble. But this one had half to me. Rey Mysterio won here, last eliminating Randy Orton. We all know why Rey Mysterio won. It was because Eddie Guerrero's unfortunate passing. But, I mean, it's kind of interesting to think who would have won this Royal Rumble. A lot of people point their fingers to Randy Orton. A lot of people point their fingers to possibly Eddie Guerrero if he was alive, because there was an Eddie Guerrero-Shawn Michaels match that was supposed to take place at WrestleMania 22, but unfortunately did not happen. I don't really know exactly who would have won this Royal Rumble. I want to say Randy Orton, and then again, because I think Randy Orton and Batista was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 22, but Batista got injured. So it's a lot like WrestleMania 32, champion goes down. Unfortunately, somebody passed away who was a big part of WrestleMania 32, or WrestleMania 22, and then 10 years later we had the same situation again. It's kind of a different parallel if you think about it. So Seth Rollins got taken out via injury, and so did Batista, and they both had two hell of a runs. I hope I said that right. Did I say right? They both had hell of a runs. They had really good runs, okay? And yeah, they were awesome as champions on their separate brands and in different time periods and whatnot. And injuries, unfortunately, really messed up WrestleMania plans, and bad things happened. But different things arose with Rey Mysterio's winning the Royal Rumble, and it would go on to be a triple threat with Kurt Angle and Randy Orton that was like 9 minutes long. And guys, it was a good Royal Rumble. Like, there's nothing amazing, wow. Rey Mysterio's performance is the only thing I can really think of. The Shawn Michaels getting screwed thing is okay. Triple H did a good job and had a good run in the Royal Rumble. And, I don't have that much to say about it other than it was solid. It was a good Royal Rumble. So yeah, it's interesting more to think about than this Royal Rumble, just what would have happened after if this person would have stayed alive, or if this person, didn't get injured. It's just really interesting to think about. And then we had WWE Championship match right after this, like I said, Edge versus John Cena. So we booked Edge for 10 long months, for almost a year, with this briefcase. We kind of teased it, right? And then we had it here and there and everywhere. And this was the first time somebody ever won a Money in the Bank briefcase. And he cashed in the best heel way possible against John Cena in a WWE Championship and after the Elimination Chamber, which was great. It was awesome. It was amazing. Just great execution by Edge, and great execution how it all came about with John Cena's blood. It enhanced the sympathy for the man. It was really good. And then a month later, almost less than a month later, because New Year's Revolution is in January, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later, Edge drops the title right back to John Cena. And keep in mind, they had the Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views separately. SmackDown had No Way Out in February, so there was no rematch for Edge at that point. Well, he did have a rematch, and it was with Mick Foley as a special guest referee, and that would lead up to the WrestleMania 22 match, but that was on a Raw. So Edge didn't get a chance with the WWE Championship, and he should have. They could have ran with this until WrestleMania 22. I believe they could have. Because how entertaining and John Cena Edge can be, because Edge being a dick and being just a blatant asshole, you know what I mean? And then you have John Cena, who's good just because he's good, and he's an edgy babyface at that time. And they could have ran with that with the stuff that they did later in 2006. Then, they could have piled that in and packed it in for WrestleMania 22. That didn't happen. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it isn't, because both men still came out wonderful after WrestleMania 22, even though this was not a good decision on WWE's part to take it right back from Edge. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten Mick Foley and Edge at WrestleMania 22 if this didn't happen, and Edge wouldn't have went over the best way that he did at WrestleMania 22 by Mick Foley. Bleeding all in his eye and stuff like that, and Edge being at a back, and then he would face Triple H and John Cena at Backlash. Then would eventually get the championship back at, I believe, it was on Raw, and he won a triple threat match between Van Dam and John Cena. And then they had a match at SummerSlam, then at Unforgiven. And then they took it back at Unforgiven in Toronto in Edge's TLC match. And then it wasn't until 2007 until Edge went to SmackDown and he took the championship away from The Undertaker. So, I don't know. And John Cena went on to have a great match with Triple H at WrestleMania 22 as well. We can't forget that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know which one would have been better if they ran with this to WrestleMania. I honestly think that even though this was a bad decision, it all worked out in the end. And Edge still is one of the best WWE wrestlers of all time when it comes just to accomplishments and what he's done and stuff like that. I don't think he's in the top 10, but he's had a hell of a career. So, yeah, Edge lost, and it was bad. And John Cena had a special catwalk spaceship-like entrance for no apparent reason. They just said, yeah, let's stick a huge freaking stage setup above the ring, and let's just, for no reason, have John Cena come out. This didn't even relate to John Cena's character. Like, John Cena was all thug. Oh, yeah, got the jersey, word life, yada, yada, yada. He wasn't Dr. of Thugonomics at this time, because that had done past, but just, it made no sense. It really didn't. He just stomped on some things, and it blew up confetti, and it was just dumb. Like, that's something that a heel should do, I guess. I don't know. It was dumb. Anyway, I'm spending way too much longer on this review than I wanted to. Anyway, Kurt Angle versus Mark Henry, World Heavyweight Championship match. Kurt Angle won. I mean, they were going with this whole Mark Henry broke the ankle lock. I don't know. It was bad. This match wasn't that great. Kurt Angle was supposed to be babyface, but he low-blowed Mark Henry and hit him with a chair a couple times, and, he had a roll-up pin while using the ropes to win the match. I mean, I know Mark Henry's a dominant specimen at this point, and it's going to be really difficult to beat him, but damn. Did you really need to go and turn heel in order to beat Mark Henry, just to turn back babyface, and turn back heel because the Undertaker comes out and he summons the lightning and the ring collapses and whatnot, and so we have Taker and Angle at WrestleMania 22. I mean, at No Way Out 2006. It did not make any sense booking wise. Kurt Angle winning the World Heavyweight Championship was kind of random, when they vacated the World Heavyweight title. But, I mean, whatever. I think they should have saved Kurt Angle and Undertaker for WrestleMania 22 anyway, because that would have been a lot better than Undertaker and Mark Henry in a casket match. But, I mean, I guess they were like, yeah, we need Rey to win the champ. Oh, we need Rey Mysterio to win the Royal Rumble because it would be such a nice nod to Eddie Guerrero. So how about we have Kurt Angle keep it, and then we'll throw Randy Orton in there. It was just so bad. The booking of the show was not good. And long term, it was good and bad. This show was not good, and overall, I recommend that you don't watch the show. I mean, the Royal Rumble is worth looking at and taking a glance at, but other than that, don't pay attention to anything else on this show. So, yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next with my Royal Rumble 2005 review. Peace.